This is my 1983 Austin Allegro. I bought it last week. I've done about 700 miles in it and it's got some issues. It never ran quite right, but I've sort of had a week. I took it down about 200 miles last weekend, there and back, or there and 200 miles back, and had what I thought was fuel vaporization issues. So whenever I was in traffic, and it got hot, it would start stalling and it would die. Now, I thought this was fuel vaporization, and basically I spent the entire weekend limping it along every time I broke down, just trying to basically just messing with the carb and ignition timing till whatever made it idle enough. Yeah, so we're now dealing with the aftermath of that because I've got ignition timings massively out. And the carb is definitely dumping fuel past the jet and needle. It's running pig rich, and even if you lean out the mixture a lot, it's still coking up plugs in about 2-3 miles. So I'm going to try and sort this. I'm not that great on the mechanical side on cars this age. I sort of understand the theory, and I find that a lot of guides are done by people who do know what they're doing, but when you get to it, you don't know what's going on. So instead, you get to watch me flummox my way through it and try work it out myself. So we've got to rebuild the carb, which is an HS4, sort out the ignition timing and points, and also check the valve clearances. And hopefully this thing doesn't run like a complete fucking bag of nails. Because it's all right. It's all right when you're on a run. But again, I've spent the entire weekend, last week, just bodging the mixture and ignition timing to whatever it wants at the time it's causing me grief. So it's now basically time to go through and just reset everything back to factory, and hopefully we get a nice running Allegro. So first thing I want to check, because it's the easiest and it's the thing I haven't fucked around with and cocked up, is the valve clearance. So we'll check this. My plan is to do the valve clearance, ignition timing, points. I did stick new points in it, new distributor, but I suspect that whatever gap is on there may not still be on there. So we'll start with the valve clearance, which I've never done before. And then last we'll do the carb, which again, there's definitely something going on because we've got fuel getting past the jet. Otherwise, it's a very tidy car. So yeah, we've got over here, we do have the factory manual. So if we go to valve clearances, which is cylinder head, oh, this is blown in the wind. Valve clearances. There we go. So I've got the rocker cover off, which is just done by 2 wing nuts there, and the gasket's also leaking out the cover, so we've got another gasket. And basically, from my understanding, so we need to check it from 1 to, so what? This is the order: valve 1, valve 3, valve 5, valve 2, valve 8, valve 6, 4, 7. So we need number 1 valve of number 8 fully open, which if we come over here, oh, what the fuck is that doing? So I'm assuming the valve 1 will be on the crank side of the engine. Crank side of the engine there. And then that will be valve 8. So I believe we need to get valve 8 fully open, which means compressed, and then we can check this on the rocker. So if we come down here, get our handy little socket, which I had to specifically buy for this engine. It is a 1 5/16 on the crank. So let's keep it down there. Let's rotate the engine until cylinder 8 is compressed. We'll also compression test this. You know, I may as well uncover the hurt. I think that is starting to go down there. That's it. Oh, it's coming up. So actually, let's back that off. There you go. So that valve there should be, and where is it? Bottom out. Just below that. There. That's just a smidge back. There, that's under full compression. Right, so I've got a feeler gauge here, so this should be out to 0.12. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm just going to insert it in the valve, clear it in the valve here. So it should, hopefully, that's very fucking tight. Can get it through, but there is a lot of resistance there. Let's have a look. This is valve 1 here. If we feeler gauge it's hard to get through there. So from my understanding, it should have some grab, but not a huge amount. So we need to get off this lock nut, which looks to be, is it? Can't remember now, under a 1/2 inch, so 3/16. Let's try that. I've got to root around for a spanner, and basically what I'm going to try doing is take it off this bloody lock nut and stick a screwdriver in it. So what we have here is what is most definitely an imperial socket. You can trust me on this one. So I want to slacken this. That's tightening it. Got that's on there. There we go. So I think I just need to slacken it off there. Right. So I now need to get a feeler gauge in it. It involves some crafty moving of this. And basically want to adjust the clearance using this screw, which now moves nicely. So we need to get our feeler gauges, which are somewhere. So I'm notorious for putting things down and fucking losing them because I'm a stupid twat. Feeler gauges would be nice to have at this exact moment in time. No, lost to the fucking ether. Tits. Right, there we go. Didn't lose anything. I just safely stored it in the footwell of the Rover P6 while I was rooting around in there for a socket or spanner that fit. So I get the feeler gauge in. So I think I want to loosen this. So I think slackening it out. Yeah, there we go. And just bring it back down. I think it's some resistance there. So that's really tight, but that does move. Is that tight? So that's where it was. That's really tight. There we go. And that feels better. There. Goes through nicely. Maybe a little bit more. Again, it's very difficult to sort out resistances. I'd say that. See, that is way too tight. That's grabbing. Probably about there. So now I want to slacken off the lock nut. And I suspect I'll be going back to check these later because I have very little faith in myself. And this was on very tight. I don't think I've got a torque spec. So I'm just going to... That's tight. Has that moved? Yes, it has. It does say use a spanner for this. I don't know if a socket's also going to turn the... Right. Slacken that off. Okay. I'd say that's all right. Let's try this, tighten this up. Is that all right? This is the thing. This is the thing that's difficult, is people say, oh, it should feel tight, but how tight is tight? See, that's getting tighter. I'd say that's still movable. You can pass the feeler through it. So again, let's lock this up. And hopefully this will be the same. Can I see it moving? Can't see any movement there. Wish these had a torque spec, but that is now tight. Again, that's now really bloody tight. Maybe I should be using a spanner. Let's have a little route round for a spanner in the wonderful P6 that's used as a shed. I mean, it's an ongoing project and I will finish it, I swear. Of course, I'm going to find everything but the fucking spanner I need, but that's life. 13. I mean, a 1/2 inch. Right, if we use a spanner, is that any better? Bloody hope so. Yeah. Right, because yeah, that's now moving, so I think spanner was the way to go. You're learning with me. Right, that feels good. I'd say that's good. Let's tighten it back up, and if I think I understand. I need to leave the screwdriver in the top here and then tighten it like that. See, that's rock hard. There we go. I'd say that's a nice valve clearance. It's grabbing, but just. So 13mm spanner, screwdriver to hold it in. Oh yeah, I see what's going on here. Oh, that's locked. Bloody, why is that not fucking moving? Right, we have problems here. Okay, so the nut is locked on this. Yeah, so the actual nut on the screw here was just turning the screw, so that's now freed off and moving a little bit. So we have to readjust the valve clearance. So I do not want a tappy engine, neither do I want one. Right. There we go. That's not even going in. So that's not grabbing. It's too tight, just there. Exactly there. So, want to sort of memorize the position of the screw. Get this on here. Oh, this is going to be an absolute bastard, isn't it? Just scrap it and get a J-Co. So yeah, the reason why is that locking that is moving the actual adjustment screw when I tightened it with the ratchet. So it does need to be a hammer, not spanner, hammer, tool, a tool, another tool job. Actually, that's all right. I'd say if anything, that's a little loose. Can I tighten this a little bit more? Nope. I'm not going to show you the rest of this. This will be a swanky little time lapse. Yeah, there we go. It's now not moving the... Oh, tits, this is already a pain in the ass. I do enjoy this, I tell myself. But I don't know, Dacia Spring, there's some good deals on one of those. And all electric. Don't have to deal with whatever. Tap it. There we go. So that's tight. I'm going to say, because that's a little bit grabby, just to slack off there. Yeah, just about. Oh. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. So we'll try this again. Spanner on without disturbing screw. No, or disturbing screw. Wonderful. Right. And there goes a fucking spanner. So it's these bits you don't get in proper guides of when you actually go do it and fuck everything up royally the entire time. And this is the educational resource I bring you. So send me beer or something. For how I am, you would think I hate this car, which is far from the truth. I absolutely adore the thing. I do like working on stuff. I just enjoy it once the job is done, as opposed to, well, I've been a twat. I should have had the spanner. Fuck it. Right, you unscrew, you stay there. I don't want to see any movement out of you. It's getting tighter. Screw's still in the same position. I'd say that's tight. Do the valves have clearances? Yeah, I'd say that's nice. So apparently the news on this is you'd rather have them too loose than too tight. Beautiful. So now you're going to watch a time lapse of me do the same thing to the rest of them. But first, let's try and work out the order. So our next step is we want to adjust valve 3 with 4, 5, 6 fully open. Apparently, but to be fair, I say I would expect. I ain't done it before, so let's see what's going on here. So we want to watch valve 6 here, but go under compression. Well, that's already quite compressed there. Have I fucked this up? So that's valve, oh no, valve 8 is fully compressed. Let's wind this back. Yeah. There we go. Valve 6, oh there it is, so that's going down, down, and that's the peak, so which means valve 3, fully open, and you get the gist of this now. So I'm going to stick my tool in the hole and hope it, yeah, fucking hell yeah, tight as anything. Tight as anything. So let's adjust this one. I'm going to time lapse this, the rest of it, so you don't have to listen to me moan on and lose shit for fucking however long it takes. Right, so this is all done. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if some of the first ones I did are a little bit loose. However, all of these now I can get it through. That's not the one I'm adjusting. Number 7. See, there's some resistance there, but it goes in and out fairly smoothly. I think that's right. I think some of these may be a little bit loose. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the distributor cap back on and see how it sounds. If I get some, I believe it's sort of tappety noises, it's going to be that these first couple I did need to be tightened down slightly. But I think the others didn't have to adjust, sort of later ones, they were okay. And again, this was, number 7 was rock tight. So I think start the car up and let's see where how we get on. Leads back on, distributor back on, let's see if it starts. Put the key in the ignition and let's see what happens. I'll find out very quickly if plugs are in the wrong order. Right, now we've got the valve clearance set. Just want to clean up cover because I've got a new gasket for this because it's been leaking out the cam cover. So it need to clean the face of this, give it sort of a light sand to clean it up. It could be a cork gasket, there's no real sealant on it or anything left over, so it should seal quite nicely. The manual does say to use some joisting compound on the actual rocker cover face, so we'll try that. I do actually have some, I think it's well seal, which has come strongly recommended to me after fucking abysmally failing to seal a sump on a Series 5 Singer Gazelle a couple of weeks ago, which need to redo. Don't want to, but do need to redo. So I'm just going to get this cleaned up a little bit and get the rocker cover cleaned up, and then we can get it back on. It's only held on with little thumb screws, so it doesn't need to be mega tight, but I'm quite happy with this. So I'll just go get some sandpaper and crack on. Right, so I've cleaned up the gasket and I've got some well seal on there. It's much thinner than I was expecting it to be. Just need this cork gasket to fit because it was shipped with an air filter and it's sort of been deformed a great deal by that. I'm thinking let's try and get the cover on it and use that to hold it down maybe. So I've got some whale seal on there. It's much thinner than I was expecting. So let's try and get the rocker cover on. Now, oh, you fucking bastard. Right, I don't need vacuum and Vans right this minute. Yeah. Is this on the right way? I do not think it is. I think it's the other way. Can't remember which way it was. It must be this way. Where are the threads for the... Ah, there, yep. So, that seems better. No, it is the other way. It's not going well. I suspect this is indeed going to leak. Yeah, because the gasket's bowing in there. Right. What can I do about this gasket, really? Pull that out. Okay. Seems better. Can I pull out this side? Push that down. That seems better. Let's. What a pain in the arse this is. I wish I bought it off, packaged this properly, because now I've got a bent gasket. We're just trying to make this bastard thing fit. And I'm expecting this to bloody leak. And that's way too over that side. I mean, that is on there. That should be in line there. And if I push that corner in, I think that might just about be the right shape. Let's get it tightened down, we'll see what happens. Hopefully no leaks. But I have the sneaking suspicion this is going to leak like a fucking sieve. Yeah, it's just these wing nuts that go on to tighten it. So I'll try and sort of wiggle it as it goes, as it starts tightening down. Right, so that's starting to tighten there. Let's get this other one down. I don't think it's the worst job in the world, but it's not ideal. Again, my standards are it's never going to be the best, but I will do what I can to make it good enough. Yeah, I think that's certainly good enough. Let's start bringing that tight. Yeah, it's starting to close up. How's it on that end? That feels good. Do you know what? I think this might be successful, you know. Right, that's on as tight as it can go. And that's on as tight as it can go. How are we looking? Do you know what? That's not bloody bad. It's not great at the back there, but I think that's pretty level. All things considered, I'm going to call that a success. These are tightened down, clean it up a bit later. Right, so now, I did check the points earlier, they were out, so I did get those. Now let's set the ignition timing. So static timing, I'm going to do it off the crank pulley mark. So we should have down here. Can I get this to zoom in nicely? Yes. So you see these marks here. So these are allegedly, if the fucking camera would fucking focus, these are your marks for timing. So I think that's top dead center, I think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or it's 4, 8, 10. So it says in the manual that static timing should be at 8 degrees, I believe. I have to double check that. So what I'm going to do is I need to find some way of blocking off this vacuum line for the advance on the carb there. I suspect a condom may come into play, and then should be able to sort out static timing. Once that's set, get it up and running, and yeah, that's it. So I need to get it timed up to 8 degrees. I need the engine at 8 degrees for top dead center. Then I believe I need to pull off the dizzy cap and then move it until the points are fully open on cylinder 1. And that should be our static timing, and then I can time it with the actual gun after that. It's already running so much happier. I mean, I didn't record it before, but it sounded like it had a massive cam in it. And again, when I've adjusted the carb, the mixture, it's been terrible. You're supposed to notice a difference in the idle, but no matter which way, if you lean it all the way out, idle makes no difference. If you're riching it all the way out, it makes no difference at all. So it points that everything else has been so badly, and to be fair, I have absolutely bodged this just to keep it running while I was in Kent, because I didn't really expect the car to make it down, so I don't have to live with it the entire weekend. My plan was sort of to just take it down on Saturday, on the Friday night, break down, see what broke, and then get towed home and take a normal car. But it just about did the whole weekend. So as a result of that, I was stopping fairly frequently to fiddle with things in ways that a competent person probably wouldn't have done. So right, let's get this timed up and we'll go from there. Right, so I've timed the engine up, so that is the marking, and that will be top dead centre, and I believe is a 5-degree increments. So this should be 5 degree, 10 degree, we need 8, so I've stuck it just in the middle there, and that should be good enough. So let's take the distributor cap off, and right, spark plug 1 is down here, so the rotor should be pointing at this bottom spark plug down there. So take off the clips. Well, it came off quite easily. That is not pointing towards spark plug number 1. Huh. It's pointing to spark plug number 4. But it runs so well. So that's on there like that. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure why that is. Alright, spark plug number 1 here, and that is definitely a spark plug. Pop this back on. Move the clip out of the way. So we should have spark going. Yeah, that is definitely pointing towards plugins to advanced, maybe. Okay. This points open at spark plug number 1. Let's get this out of the way. So what happens if I move this? It won't move the rotor though, will it? It'll just open the points. Right. That could mean that this is 180 degrees out, maybe. But let's just do points fully open. There. And see what happens, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely out, isn't it? 'Cause that is points fully open, and that's at maximum advance on distributor. I'm not sure if you can see that. There you go. So that should be top of the cam lobe. So I'm going to get us to focus here, but yeah. Points closed. So it will be. Good news is, that's running really nicely. You're probably not going to pick that up with shutter speed, but that's doing about quite steady 1235, 1240 RPM. However, our timing is a little bit too advanced here. In fact, this has vacuum connected. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Let's try get this in frame. No. So it appears the advance is sitting in about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 degrees. But that may be the vacuum advance saying something. So let's just back this off again and see where we get to. So I've forgotten to disconnect the vacuum advance, which hopefully is why my advance is so quick. Now I can't find a screw that fits this, but I do have a condom. Now I'm hoping this will hold vacuum. It's also ribbed for extra grip. Oh, this isn't going to... it might work. Yeah, we'll see. Surely a condom can hold vacuum. Yeah, that'll do. Just need something to wrap around it now. If this works, I'm a genius. No one can tell me otherwise. Got condom there, little bit of wrapper. It's a little bit slippery still. Can't I do them dry? Let's start. Now I'm sure there's a proper way of doing this, but this is how I'm going to do it. You can do it the same way. I don't even know if it's going to work. If this doesn't leak vacuum, I am going to be shocked. There we go. So I have in the past had experienced a massive vacuum leak in a Volvo 940, and again a condom seemed to do the trick. There you go. There you go. I'm going to say that's not going to leak. Although I have had to ask my other half, do we have a condom? Grab it and immediately walk out of the house. So I may be sleeping in the Allegro Estate if this doesn't check out in her mind. But that hopefully should stop the vacuum advance. Here the condom is holding, that is being sucked. So it ain't done if it works. So the RPM is still the same. Let's grab the timing gun. Again, I'm not going to be able to get a good shot at this, I'm afraid. Let's see if we can get this in frame. Well, it might be better. Not going to get focused, but what's that doing? No, that's still slightly advanced. That's still around 20, okay? So let's dial this back on the distributor. Oh. Can't operate this very well, I'm afraid. Let's just retard the timing now. That sounds better. Okay. Let's flash the gun at it again. That's looking around 10. Oh, that's around 8. Yeah, it's around bob on. Alright, well, it's still at 1200, but that's probably mixture. So I'm going to say that we've now got valve clearances that are good, and the valve clearances are good, and our ignition timing is okay. So I just need to tighten down the distributor. Let's reconnect the vacuum advance and see how that goes. And yeah, bob on. Tell me that. I was revving up as I was braking. Oh, it works now. It fucking works.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.